are safer drivers, men or women? Well, according to a new survey, 55% of adults feel that women are most responsible for minor fender benders, while 78% blame men for most fatal crashes. Please note that the percentages in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman.
To get on a plane and that plane was to fly into the eye of a hurricane, there was a 50% chance of it crashing, I'd want a male pilot.
The good news is I named my nickel Philip.
What's the bad news?
It's a girl nickel.
But polyglass means more than mileage when your wife has to drive alone.
It must be a pretty picture you drop into.
Who cares what you think? You're a girl now.
I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
I wonder what happened to Cindy.
Dear Diary, jackpot.
I'd look it right in that fat, ugly face.
Look at your hair. Look at that blouse. And the way that skirt hangs. And those socks. You don't seem to be exactly the type to make this guy behave like a human being.
She's got a little bit large. I don't think you should dress like you weigh 120 pounds.
We wouldn't be women if we weren't concerned about our figure. An extra pound here or there can sometimes cause great concern and mental anguish.
I don't want to sound too much like a chauvinist, but when I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof.
Mother, too, changes from her daytime clothes. The women of this family seem to feel that they owe it to the men of the family to look relaxed, rested, and attractive at dinner time.
A person who's flat-chested is very hard to be a 10.
Come on then. What happened?
Got detention. Just for flicking up a girl's skirt.
What?
That's it.
Doesn't she know that's just boys being boys?
Yeah, I mean, I've already accepted that as I grow up, I'll probably be harassed and even abused.
What is up, you guys? It's Maya. Welcome back to another wonderful video made by none other than Maya Moreau. From ancient myths passed down through storytelling to Greek dramas to the 24/7 news cycle, media has always shaped how we see the world. The messages that we consume affect our beliefs, values, and even our actions. So I want to talk about women. Let's start with women in classical Athens. Women in classical Athens were regulated to the home and hardly ever allowed to leave. Women were segregated from men they were not married to. Respectable women only left the household to visit friends. Athenian women were placed under strict restrictions, primarily due to the male fear regarding the nature of the woman. While men were considered naturally rational, women were considered to be emotional, jarring, and illogical. Speculation suggests that these perceptions of women stem from the idea that before the democratic times of Greece, women had stronger social roles and were not regulated to the household. But in a stronger agricultural society, women had greater freedom. I want to take a look at some fun little quotes from ancient Athens. Blatant misogyny appears in some of the earliest work in Greek literature. Book 1 of the Odyssey. Go inside of the house. Go inside of the house and attend to your work. The loom, the distaff, and bid your handmaiden to attend their work also. Talking is men's business, all men's business, but my business most of all. Here's another great Greek poem from Simonides of Amorgos. He wrote a poem called Types of Women. It categorizes women into different types, all of which are awful in different ways. Yes, the worst pestilence Zeus ever made is woman. If they look to be a helpmeet, yet the master suffers most. The man who keeps a woman in his house never gets through a whole day in good cheer, nor will he soon drive hunger from his door. That hostile lodger, hateful deity. When with his household he seems most content, whether by God's grace or on man's account, she finds some fault and girds herself for war. Where there's a woman, they may not be keen even to welcome in a visitor. I'll tell you that she looks the best behaved, in fact, is most rotten of them all. For while her man gawps fondly at her, oh, the neighbor's merriment, another dupe. Yes, when the talks of wives, each man will praise his own and criticize the other blokes, but we don't realize it's equal shares. For Zeus made wives as his worst pestilence and fettered us in bonds unbreakable. Here's a lyric poet. Hipponax of Ephesus, 2 days of a woman's life give greatest pleasure, those of her wedding and her funeral. A whole bunch of sayings that are similar to the last one, like from this poet, Menandrus, who provides us real patriarchal nuggets of wisdom. Never trust your life to a woman. A woman knows nothing except what she wants to know. It's better to bury a woman than to marry her. Don't trust a woman, even if she's dead. When there's no woman around, nothing bad happens to a man. A woman is silver-coated dirt. A woman is the wildest of all animals. The list goes on, but I think you can get the impression. Let's get into some ancient Greek plays. In the tragedy Eumenides, Apollon declares that a woman is nothing but a vessel for a man's seed. Here is Apollon's actual argument. The mother is not the parent on the nurse of the seed which the true parent, the father, commits to her as a stranger to keep it with God's help safe from harm. And I have proof of this. There can be a father without a mother. We have witness here, this daughter of Olympian Zeus, who sprang armed from her father's head, a goddess whom no goddess could have brought birth. In the tragedy Medea, written by Euripides, Medea's husband Aeson justifies his decision to marry another woman by telling Medea she does not need any sons because she's just a woman, and women have no use for offspring, whereas a man needs sons in order for them to carry on his legacy. He concludes with a statement of vexation over the fact that women are necessary in order to produce sons, saying that it would be better if there were no woman at all and men could make sons in some other way. Here's the full passage. You need no sons, but it profits me to add to those I have. Is this so reprehensible? It's only jealousy that makes you think so. But things have come to such a pass that women think marriage is the only thing that matters. When once your sole possession is endangered, whatever's good and right for you to do, you fight it. There ought to be some other way for men to get their sons. There ought to be no woman. Then a man could live his life in peace. Now think back to the videos that I showed at the beginning of this video. Ancient patriarchal views have been imbued into the foundation of our civilization. I think that modern media has demonized women. I think they have torn the woman down. I think this is continuously happening, and I won't acknowledge that there is an improvement being made, because there is. But the disparages that women have faced against men for centuries upon centuries upon centuries is abhorrent. And if we, as women and as men, don't make an effort to assert ourselves, assert our power, our intelligence, our passion for life, the same events of history will repeat itself if we do not continuously advocate for our own rights. Not only our own rights, but our abilities as women. Although misogyny is less common in the ways that it was in ancient Greece today, it is still very present, and we see it in media constantly. The way women are portrayed in movies, the jokes made about women that your friends make, that our politicians make, that all of our media makes, still affects us to some degree. Psychologically, I think being raised watching Barbie movies, being raised watching movies where the woman or me is a damsel in distress has created me to believe that I am weaker than a man and I need to be saved by a man. I don't like feeling that way anymore. And I need to do so much mental work to deconstruct that from my internal biases against women and against myself. So, keep doing the work. Don't settle. Advocate for yourself, woman. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.